A landowner drives out to check a property he barely visits. The water looks like it always does, still, quiet, forgettable, until it isn't. He sees something you never unsee and dials 911 with a voice that knows this isn't a deer, a log, or a prank.
Cumberland County Emergency Services, is this an emergency?
Yes and no. It's got a pond on it, and I stopped by to check on the property in the house I got here, because I don't live in it. And it looks like there might be a part of a body floating out in the water. And it looks like it's that's what it is. I'm not sure, but like it's been there a while. There's no legs or arms or nothing.
Hours later, a name from a missing person bulletin becomes a headline. Clint Bonnell, decorated Green Beret and PA student, found under conditions no family should have to identify. Whatever you thought this case was, it isn't that anymore. It's not a misunderstanding. It's not a long weekend gone sideways. It's a homicide built from choices that started days earlier, but the story didn't begin at the pond. It began with a silence that shouldn't have happened. Welcome back to the Criminal Minds. Before we continue, thank you for being here. If you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe. It's free, but for us it's real support and motivation to keep going. I appreciate you. On January 28th, a program director notices something off. Clint never misses class. He doesn't blow off exams. He doesn't ghost. That worry turns into a welfare check at his home on Butler Nursery Road.
Cumberland County Emergency Services. How do I go about getting a welfare check performed on a resident of Cumberland County? We can put the call in. What's the address? It is 3265 Butler Nursery Road. Is that off of 87? Yep. And what's your name? So I'm the program director at Methodist PA program, and one of our students, he's an older student in his 40s. He hasn't shown up all day today. He hasn't been in class at all, and they have class every day of the week. Some of his classmates spoke to him last night. I think around 7 or 8 p.m. was the last time they heard from him by text. But all the numbers that I have for him are going straight to voicemail. He's not responding to email or anything. It's very out of character. He's former military. He lives alone. We know that he lives alone, and his wife is in Virginia, and daughter lives in Florida. So I don't know if anyone's looking for him except us. And I wouldn't normally call, but it's completely out of character. Okay. Give me just 1 second. And are you at that location now? I am not. Okay. I am in, actually, my faculty called me to let me know he still hasn't shown up. They had class that was supposed to start at 8 this morning, and they're still in class, and no one's heard from him all day. Okay. I need to get his description. What race is he? He's white male, maybe 5'10", 5'11". He's got like brown hair. It's not real short, but medium, like not real long. Fit. Probably maybe he's in his late 40s, maybe 46, 47. And what's his name? Clinton is his full first name, Bonnell. Bonnell. He goes by Clint. Does he have any physical, medical, or mental conditions that we need to be aware of? Not that we are aware of. Okay. And you may not know the answer to this question too, but I have to ask you: does anyone have access to weapons? He was former military, so I would assume. Okay. But that would just be an assumption. All right, I'm gonna go with unknown. And he's in the program. He was admitted. He was former military. He was active duty up until he came into the program. He may still be in reserves, or active duty may be on hold for him to be in the program. So he's got security clearances. There's no threat or anything that we were aware of. Well, to tell you the truth, why I'm worried is, for one, it's not like him to not show up. This is a high-stakes program, so if they don't come, they let us know ahead of time that they're not going to be there. He definitely wouldn't miss the whole day.
All right, I'll let you go now. An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible. Just call us back if you get new information.
When police arrived, his car, his bag, his wallet were all inside the house, but no sign of Clint. His wife, Shayna Cloud, tells deputies about the day before, that they went to the gym together and left in a separate car gym, a routine that ends with him heading to campus. When investigators lean in, she can't say if he came home that night. And when they ask her to file the missing person report, the word no hangs in the room like fog. If you ever walked into a house that looks fine but feels wrong, you know the itch that started here. Detectives found out that there was another woman. She's a girlfriend who tells police that on January 27th, Clint met a divorce attorney. Later, at 7:53 p.m., he texts he told Shayna about the divorce and is going to bed. Phone records back up the geography. Pings at home that night and into the next morning. That's not a man who drove off into a new life. That's a man whose phone stayed where the story says he slept. When a marriage meets a plan to end it, people make choices. Some hire lawyers. Some make threats. And sometimes, if you listen to the right timestamps, someone decides the future you're building without them is a future you'll never see. When investigators come back with a search warrant, they found a book bag and a laptop that look like they've caught bullets. Paper doesn't lie about holes. Neither do screens. Meanwhile, cell pings tell the same story twice, where the phone slept and when it went offline. Across state lines, a Virginia property enters a frame. Shayna's car and phone get seized. You can argue feelings. You can't argue physics. The data is building a box that gets smaller the longer you look at it. That box will crack wide open on February 25th, when a man went out to check his property that he barely visits and stormed on something gruesome on the ponds, and then calls 911.
Cumberland County Emergency Services, is this an emergency?
Yes and no. It's got a pond on it, and I stopped by to check on the property in the house I got here, because I don't live in it. And it looks like there might be a part of a body floating out in the water. And it looks like it's that's what it is. I'm not sure, but like it's been there a while, 'cause there's no legs or arms or nothing on it.
Okay. And just to clarify, is it still ongoing? Is that correct?
There's nothing going on. It's just out here in the middle of nowhere.
They say water is a thief because it stole the gunshot residue. It smears edges. It invites the quiet work of time and animals. But water also preserves what gravity can't undo. Trajectories through bone, tool marks where a blade kept slipping, and the simple, brutal truth of where bullets went in. When the torso is pulled from the pond, the case stops being hypothetical. Even without head or limbs, the autopsy can still speak, and it does. What it says next redraws the entire night. The medical examiner calls it, for gunshot entries to back, exiting through the chest. Cause of death, multiple gunshot wounds. Manner, homicide. No GSR survives the water, so range can't be proven, but you don't need distance to read direction. He wasn't facing the muzzle. Was he walking away? Was he down? Without the head and limbs, some questions can't be answered, but others don't need a diagram. For the back is not a misunderstanding. It's a decision. Even if other injuries existed, the report says the bullets alone were independently fatal. And that tells you how the law will think about intent. Then the report reaches the part most people can't hear without looking down. Dismemberment is not a panic attack. It's logistics. It takes time, tools, and knowledge of joints and resistance. The report suggests a sharp tool, likely power-assisted, did the work. Some organs were missing. Whether cutout or lost decomposition is unclear. A forensic anthropologist would talk about false starts, kerf marks, and saw class, the signatures blades leave behind. Alone or with help, someone didn't just react to a death. Someone managed a body. The only reason to do that is to buy time or hide the truth. There were 100 chances to stop and call for help. They weren't taken. That's not chaos. That's control. Now loop this back to the living, because motive writes itself in people. On January 27th, when the gym with the spouse, divorce disclosed, text to the girlfriend saying it's done. Add phone pings at home overnight. Add a refusal to file a missing person report. Add objects inside the home that look like they met bullets. Then jump to February 25th and a pawn that keeps secrets badly. Prosecutors don't have to guess at feelings when the autopsy, the pings, and the bag with holes point in the same direction. When they ask why, the simplest answer is not poetry, it's pressure, the version tomorrow that leaves you behind. And in 1,000 other cases, that pressure turns into a plan. So what do you build in court when you're missing half a person? You don't need every piece to finish the picture. You need enough. Open and shut is a myth. Overlap is a truth. Overlap between phone data, home evidence, witness statements, autopsy conclusions, and the dismemberment logistics. Expect toolmark analysis to teach jurors how saws sign bone. Expect digital extraction to map movements and messages. Expect the state to argue premeditation through planning behaviors, transport, concealment, and the sheer endurance of post-crime activity. Defense will fight admissibility. Lean on unknowns, no GSR, missing limbs, and push alternative scenarios. But even in water, physics leave a trail. And that trail leaves the rest of us with a few lessons we won't forget. 3 takeaways that travel. Absence speaks. A man who doesn't miss class misses. A spouse declines to report him missing. The phone stays home. Silence is not neutral. Water blurs. Bone remembers. You can lose GSR and soft tissue clues. You don't lose direction of travel through bone or the signature of a saw. The night before matters. When a relationship meets a lawyer and a decision, what follows is rarely random. If you study timelines for a living, you know the why is usually visible the day before. 4 shots to the back. A house where bullets seem to have introduced themselves to the wrong objects. A pawn that tried to help but couldn't. And a timeline that keeps pointing home. If you were in that jury box, which single brick would carry the most weight for you? The autopsy's independently fatal finding, the domestic timeline around the divorce, or the post-death logistics that feel like planning, not panic? Drop your take below. I'll be in the comments reading. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more stories.